This is day 39 of Journaling My Life online every single day until I graduate. And today I've basically been listening to Gary Vee's new book called Day Trading Attention. And it's really, really dense, so I don't even know how I'd go really about summarizing it. But basically, it's just about social media. Or rather, he puts it as marketing in general, but specifically targeting social media. And his basic contention is that social media requires that as a producer you learn about your audience, which is very, very different from traditional media because there was no way to split test what you put out. And two, because of that, you need to have a lot of quantity such that you can actually test and get feedback and use all of these algorithms that give you so much data about the content you create to make better content, and as such you can reach broader audiences. Which leads to his third point, which is that right now the social media space is not based off of following, but rather based off of content. And the quality of the content that you make determines how much of a following, how much attention you get. And I feel like this is demonstrative in my own videos because my so-called unicorn, which is currently sitting on about 600k. For context, I run a badminton account for my business, and one of the videos teaching a split step, which is like a badminton move, got about 600k viewers, and it took my following from 400 followers to 2,400, which is about 6 days later. So huge growth. I don't know how to do the math. I'm like 500% over 6 days or so, and for context as well, on average my videos before would go about 10k and this one was 600k, so huge jump. And it's really interesting because there are some accounts with millions of followers whose reels don't necessarily get that high of a following of a viewing. So I guess it's really true that what attracts people's attention is what attracts people's attention, and it's not anymore so much dependent on what kind of viewership you have, but rather the interest. Gary Vee calls it the interest graph of your demographic, of your viewers. Sorry, the interest graph of the demographic of your viewers, rather than the following or the fact whether they follow you or not. And then basically my personal conclusion from that is that one, I need to do the things that he's talking about. Because I feel like a lot of people, when they start out on business, I don't know if I consider myself starting out, but I haven't made enough money to support myself, so I guess I'm still a beginner, which is, I guess, a good mindset to have anyway. But for people who are starting out, it is really, really important to just put out volume, because through volume is how you learn. And as such, I'm going to be trying to do as much content as I possibly can. So the goal will be that every single day I'm going to make one of these videos, and from these videos I'll be able to make little shorts for YouTube, and then reels for Instagram. I'll adjust them if I have time, but maybe I'll just copy paste and see what does better on which platform. And then I'll also bring that to Xiaohongshu, which is like the Chinese version of Instagram plus TikTok plus kind of a little bit all together, but also kind of not like them. Basically, Chinese Instagram is probably the closest parallel. And then I'm also going to, for my badminton account, run a Instagram reel, which will be my main platform. And then I will bring that to TikTok and Facebook and YouTube Shorts, and I'll just copy paste it. And I know that it won't be like platform specific enough, and therefore won't do as well. But realistically, I don't have enough time to work on all platforms at the same time. But next year, when I do have more time, after doing this thing from now until next year, I will have enough data with which to make the decision, like, okay, this is probably how TikTok was leaning, and this is how Instagram Reel is leaning, and Facebook and YouTube and so on. That's the plan.